Go ahead. Ah, we're going to change my. You can't change my name, Tim, can you? I'll change my name. Okay. My name is Eric Golden. I sort of run the agent attraction side of this for the Freedom Team, and I want to make sure people understand when they come to this class on Monday. I'm going to address a couple of things. It's going to be for the benefit of you attracting agents, but it's also the benefit of the way we think about attracting agents, or the way we think about what we do at real estate, or the way we think about what we do on a daily basis as well. So if I can find a spot to dive into that may be able to help people, it's not always about how to get your neighbor to join EXP, okay? And so when you say there's a lot, there's another way to think about it. When you say there's a lot, it's a pushback. If you say there's a lot to learn, it's like there's a lot to do. It sounds as if there's a lot to do, right? Here's the way I'd like people to think about it. So consider this, Laura. Consider I'm learning one layer at a time. The strategy is for me to learn a lot of things over time, but I'm going to learn the first layer right now. It's a way to think about it. So when I see a lot, I immediately say, man, that's a lot. What am I going to do first? And then all of a sudden, boom, it's no longer, here's the word, overwhelming. Today, we're going to talk about agent attraction. And again, if you're brand new and never heard me before, this is me. I live in the Central Florida area, the Orlando area. I'm from Miami originally. I spent some time in San Diego, so I know the West Coast as well. Just got off a 9-day cruise, and I actually caught a head cold the last day, which is the right time to catch a cold on vacation, the last day, and you can bring it home. I haven't found my razor yet. I'm not sure I will, but I just saw a video done by Tim, and I'm glad he found his. And so there are some other leaders that jump on with us, Tim Hollenden, Kathy Carter, Sean Sturrock, and Jeff Morrell. But let's start our training today by saying this. The reason people come Monday at this time is because they want to move a step in the right direction towards attracting agents. Laura, see what I did there? A step in the right direction. I'm going to say lots of things today, and some of these things you're going to immediately go, I know that, I know that, I know that, and it won't be overwhelming. But the minute I start talking about this and that and the other, all of a sudden you go, oh my gosh, there's just so much to learn. Well, I'm a few years older than you are, Laura. I've been in the industry a few decades longer than you have. I've sold a whole bunch more houses. I've recruited a whole bunch more people. And I don't tell you any of that to try to intimidate you. I tell you that because somehow you want to go from where you are to where I am. And it's one day at a time. Tim Hollenden just posted in Workplace a great quote that success is at the edge of your comfort zone. You've got to move past your comfort zone in order to learn more. I'm going to make it even easier for you. See, if you think about, oh, it's outside my comfort zone. How do you know what you're comfortable with until you try the next step? So I'm going to make the next step less intimidating, right? You're going to go over to my house for Thanksgiving. And if you don't like broccoli, like I never liked, I'm going to have you try broccoli casserole, which is really a whole bunch of cheese and rice and a little bit of broccoli. And you go, wow, this is good. And then all of a sudden you say, maybe I'll try broccoli. And that's what happened to me about 15 years ago. I went from not eating broccoli for 40 years to loving broccoli. Why? Because I found a way to like it. So agent attraction, I absolutely believe everybody that's calling in today, I absolutely believe that you're going to find a way to like agent attraction. But the only way you're going to like agent attraction, you ready? Is if you want to like it. Okay? I will make it likable. If you come here each week on Monday for level 1 training, I will make what we do enjoyable. I'll give you little competitions. I'll give you little concepts that'll help you over the problem areas. But let me boil it down to basics. Agent attraction is all about you wanting a residual check without having to sell a house. And the only reason why you want a residual check without having to sell a house is because at some point you want to either make more money than the houses you sell, or you want to retire from selling houses and just continue to make money. So a few days ago, I'm on the cruise, sitting there with my wife, and we were just talking, and I recorded something. It was late at night. I had way too many Long Island iced teas, and I went out there and I made this quote, and then I went through and made about a 2-minute and 45-second audio. I'm not going to play it because I haven't listened to it since I made it, but I am going to give you the sober thought. And here's the sober thought. Most people think that the work in agent attraction is calling agents and getting them to join. And I want you to know there's only 2 steps in anything we do in life. There's the step to deciding what you want and how to get it, and the step to doing what you thought about, right? So some people would say deciding what you want and how to get it would be 2 steps. They're not. They're 1 step. And let me tell you why. Until you have a strategy to get what you want, you'll never really decide what you want. Let me say that again. Until you have a strategy, knowing I can get what I want, until you have that strategy, that, you know what, I can get almost anything. When I came to EXP, I saw this. I could make $1 million a year here by recruiting agents. I saw it. Then I had to figure out the strategy. And then I decided what I would do with $1 million. See, none of us want pain. So none of us want to think about, oh, a beautiful house on the mountains, a lake house, skiing with my family for 2 weeks in France. Oh my gosh, it would be wonderful. We don't spend time thinking about that if it's not a reality. I just got off a 9-day cruise. I went to 3 ports. We had 4 sea days. We ate continuously. And in the entire week, I gained 1.5 pounds. I ate everything I wanted to eat. 9 days, I gained 1.5 pounds. Now, there's a way to do that and enjoy the heck out of everything. And like I said, Long Island iced tea, Long Island iced tea, Long Island iced tea. Okay? So I want everybody to understand there's a way to get anything you want in your life, but you'll never really think about it until you have a strategy on how to get it. And then your mind will open up. Why am I spending all this time on this level 1 agent attraction? You're coming here to find out how to talk to agents. Here's the problem. You already know how to talk to agents. You do. You're just not motivated enough to talk about them. Here's why. If I told you that if you could get 20 people to watch a live presentation, 20 people, that you'd sponsor somewhere between 2 and 4 of those people. If I said that, and I gave you some words to use to start with in order to understand, so you don't get hammered by everybody you call. So some basics. I gave you some basics. And I said, here's the deal. At the end of 20 people in front of a presentation, you're going to end up with 2 to 4. So if you did that 3 or 4 times, you'd end up with somewhere between 5 and 10. And at 5 to 10, Laura, let's assume your income is somewhere between, if you had 5 to 10 frontline agents, the right frontline agents, that would grow a group of somewhere between 50 and 100 over the next few years. And that means you're making somewhere close to a 6-figure residual passive income. So Laura, here's the deal. You're going to show it to 20, 2 to 4 are going to move ahead. You're going to show it to 20, 2 to 4 move ahead. You're going to show it to 20, 2 to 4 moving ahead. That's 60 people, 5 to 10 are in your group. And you're looking for the people that'll do what you just did. Let's assume that strategy is locked in place. So you need to get 60 agents to look at a presentation. You have 52 weeks in a year. So if you wanted to set yourself up for a $50,000 to $100,000 a year passive income next year, every week this next year, every week over the next year, you got to get 1 person to look at a presentation. So Laura, let me boil it down. I've said a lot, but I'm going to simplify it. The goal is to get one good prospect a week to look at a presentation. Live presentation, so you can answer their questions. And you're going to sit there and say, well, what do I say? What presentation? I don't know how to do it. When are the presentations? All of these things come up. And that's where the problem is. You start thinking about all the ingredients in the cake rather than realizing this. As long as someone will tell you the ingredients, tell you the order of how to use them, at the end of baking the cake, you end up with a souffle the way you want it. I want you to understand, you consistently, remember, there's only two parts of this. There's the part where you have to think about what you want and a strategy to get it. And then there's the part to have to go get it. And you think the hardest part is doing the work. And that's where you're wrong. The golden nugget of today is the reveal that you think the hardest part is doing the work because you don't have a realistic goal and dream in front of you. Because if you had a realistic goal and dream in front of you, you would find an agent that's looking for something this week and get them in front of the presentation. You wouldn't need a lot of training. You would just go out and start. Why? Because a year from now, you're looking at $100,000 a year passive income. Yes, you got to do the work. And yes, people will hang up on you. And yes, people will say they're getting started and they won't. And yes, they're going to no-show you at Zoom presentations. And yes, they're going to say to you, well, my friend, blah, 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 blah. They're going to do all those things, but none of that matters if all you want is $100,000 a year passive income at the end of the year. The reason you come to level 1 training is so I can remind you this is easier when you think about the right things. And here's the right thing to think about. Why did I show up at this class today on Monday at this time? What was I looking for? And my guess is you were looking for some training on how to build your revenue share group. And that's the mistake you have. Don't come here looking for training on how to build your rev share group. Come here looking for why are you wanting to build a rev share group? Because once you understand why you really want to build it, then you'll be completely open to figuring out how. Completely open to doing the work. So if you've never heard me before, there's lots of people here who've never been on this training, type of training. Every week, I'm going to start with thinking about thinking. Because the problem is, you guys are willing to do the work. That's the reason you become realtors. You're willing to work. You're willing to do things on your schedule. Great choice. You're willing to do things that have an unlimited income. Real estate, good choice. You decided to join EXP because you believe this model delivers the best type of career and retirement. Good choice. So now spend a few minutes thinking about what that would look like. Begin to follow me on Instagram. I talk about this stuff all the time. I just begun putting information out there. Feel free to pass that along if you think it'll help friends as well. With that said, it's been a week and a half. Tim Holland, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
I got all this pent up energy. I got to deliver it somewhere. Clarify something I said. Tell me how I shifted a mindset. Tell me something.
No, it's good stuff as always. Said another way, find out what your why is. Why are we doing what we do? Why do we get up in the morning with spring in our step and go do what we do? What's the end game? It's not the money, it's what the money purchases for us. So figure that out.
Could be a 9-day cruise.
Might be a 9-day cruise. Watch last Tuesday's mastermind and revise your vision board. That'll help with your why.
I am going to handle questions. Best way to do that, unless you're driving, is put them in the chat box or raise your hand, or just wait. I'll give you plenty of opportunities to do that. I'll remind everybody, if you're not on camera, but you are in a situation where you could be on camera and not driving, you will get more by being on camera. You're going to say to me, well, explain that to me. And here's the good news about me being me. I don't have to. Been doing this for 40 years. When you're zoned in on the person talking to you, you'll get more than when you're multitasking. Now, again, if you're driving, don't want you to be on camera, but if you're not, I'd recommend you try to be. Now, with that said, let me make it as easy as possible for those of you that came to learn about how to attract agents. There's only 4 things we do. We make a list of agents that we know and don't know. List, number 1. We invite them to look using a very simple script. We show them EXP. Couple, 3 different ways to do that. And then we answer questions to see if it's the right fit. And here's the biggest part that you've never heard from me if you've never heard me. But you're only doing this for the agents that are looking for you. You're only looking for the agents that look for you. List, invite, show, answer. LISA. That's the acronym. LISA. List, invite, show, answer. And your part is to list and invite. Your partners, us, our part is to show and answer questions. So don't worry about doing it all. I've just given you 50%. And here's what's interesting. You've been making lists your whole life. So when I ask you, Laura, to make a list today, and I'm going to tell you exactly how to make it, here's what's interesting, Laura, out of the 26 people here, at least 18 of this 26 people don't have a good list. And I'm going to tell you, until you really have a good list, you're never going to get what you really think you want. Yet, me telling you that won't make you do it. You know why you won't do it? Not because you can't, but because you're not motivated enough. If you were motivated enough, then you'd be coming to a class like this, listening to someone that's been recruiting for 40 years, someone that's making a 5-figure a month check from EXP, and you know what you would do? You would listen to me. And when I tell you the most important thing to do from the beginning is make a big list of agents that you know and don't know. The biggest problem, Laura, is people will say, well, what do I say to the people? That's the layer you're not ready for. Don't try to learn the I until you've beaten the heck out of the L. Make your list. That list should be 200 agents. Now, if you don't know how to get 200 agents together, then put in the chat, how do I get 200 agents together? I'm brand new. Or come on camera and say, hey, wave your arms and go, Eric, how do I get? And we answer that question. I don't know what your issue is, but I promise the issue for everybody is you're not driven enough to do the work that you already know you should be doing. The invite script is right here. It's real simple. Oh, I can't read that. No, you can't. But if you go to our workplace group, Freedom Team in workplace, and you go to the post right at the top where it says see all, wow, there it is. So again, right there, Freedom Team group. You don't know how to get to Freedom Team group? Guess what you do? You push in the chat box, how do I get to the Freedom Team group?
It's already in there.
It's already in there. Now, here's what some people are thinking. Oh my gosh, there's a lot to learn. There you go again. There is not a lot to learn. There's the next thing to learn. Laura's brand new to real estate. Never done an open house. Never done a contract. Never helped someone through financing. Never got a pre-qualification letter. Oh my God, there's so much to learn. Tim can do that in his sleep. And she's got to go from where she is to Tim. And the only way to eat the elephant is one bite at a time. So here's how you learn. You decide, where am I today? You decide, where do I have to be tomorrow? And then here it is. Take one step in that direction. I'm going to repeat this again because you guys are going to hate it. There's only 4 things we do. We make a list, we invite, we show, and we answer. And once you learn how to make a list, invite, show, and answer, you will not have the issues you have today. The only problem you'll have then is how to improve each of those 4 things. But here's what's funny, Laura. You don't have to be very good. Watch this. The best thing I'm going to say all day in this class. You don't have to be good at this if the person you're talking to is looking for you. And say it again. If you came here to learn something, don't discard that phrase. If you're talking to an agent that is looking for what we're doing, it's not hard at all. So I was on a cruise for the last 11 days, and I have this list that I connect with to try to see if people are interested in talking to me about EXP. And I asked them straight up, are you open-minded to take a look at what EXP is offering agents? I asked them that. And I had 3 appointments for this morning before this Zoom. Here's how they went. Remember, I hadn't talked to these people in 13 days. The first guy no-showed me. I should have quit. I should go home. I should never do this again. The guy no-showed me. Guess what he told me? He must not be looking today. His name was Robert. Second one, her name was Carolyn. Lives in southern Massachusetts. Actually, the tip of Cape Cod. Never met her before. Texted back and forth, had a phone a bit short 2 weeks ago. She answers the phone. Hi, Eric, how are you? I said, great. 10 minutes later, she's in my calendar for a Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. for a live presentation. You know why she's in my calendar? Because she was looking for me. Here's another one. I have an agent I don't know personally that does about 7 million. I have a marketing partner that happened to be doing a presentation on how agents can close out this quarter. And I invited the person who I'd never met to sit in on that. So he sat in on it a few weeks ago, and I called him afterwards. You know what he said to me? You know, it wasn't really that good. I sat there for an hour. I might have learned 2 things. We didn't talk about EXP at all. And I let it sit. And a week later, I texted him. I said, hey, man, I got to ask you a question. Have you actually seen our 2022 model and what we're offering agents today? Magic words. What we're offering agents today. Oh. See, what we're offering agents today might be different than what they've heard yesterday. Which, by the way, it isn't, but they never really heard it yesterday. So he said, no, yeah, I'll jump on a call. So this morning I called him. Here's what he said. Well, I'm on a 90-10 split right now, and my broker lets me do anything. I said, how much did you do last year? He said 7 million. I said, let's do the math. I said 7 million times 0.025, 175,000. So you paid them $17,500. He goes, yep. I said, if you could pay us the same amount of money for fun, and we'd let you do whatever you want to do, just like you're doing now. I mean, it's got to be legal, but you would handle the contracts the way you want to handle it. You don't have to go to a broker and approve a change of something unless it needs broker approval. If you could do that, and we could help you set up retirement, would that be interesting? He says, absolutely. I said, well, you want to get on my calendar and just take a look at why 500 to 1,000 agents are coming every week? He said, yeah, but my daughter just got her license and she's come in as a technology partner because I don't like technology and she loves it, but I know I need it. Doesn't this sound familiar, people? She said, let me text her real quick and see if she can jump on the presentation too. So now we're set up this Thursday at 2 p.m. He was looking for me, Laura. Why am I telling you these stories? Not so you guys get bored and never come back. I'm telling you this because there's a difference between why you come to this training and why you should come to this training. You should come to this training to learn how to sponsor agents that are easy to sponsor, and how to ignore agents that are assholes. Sorry. Some of you are in a circle of agents that are just not that easy to talk to. Quit talking to them. There's a whole bunch of agents, like 2 of the 3 this morning, that were easy to talk to. And one of them was on a marketing broadcast. He didn't learn much, but he was still open. So before we go into the question and answer portion, before I let anybody ask me questions about anything I've shared, I want to remind you of something. The reason people succeed at something you are attempting to succeed at and either haven't tried because you're afraid to, don't tell me you don't know how. You don't know how because you're afraid to learn. Oh, I'm too busy. Well, then you're afraid to handle your schedule. Okay, I can work you through all of this. I've been doing this a long time. But if you want to recruit agents, the easiest way to recruit agents is to learn how and talk to the right ones. And here's the good news. You can learn how on your own, and there's 1.6 million agents out there you can go talk to. So if you're going to talk to them, let me give you the parameters of who you should talk to. If it's your choice, talk to agents that have been already selling real estate for a few years. I'm not saying you shouldn't talk to the Lauras of the world. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is if you have a choice, talk to people that already know how to sell real estate. Why? Because they already know how to sell real estate. So they come over here and they sell faster. Here's a second reason why. Because if they come over, if they look at us and they're already selling real estate, they understand the comparison. A brand new agent doesn't understand the comparison between Keller, Berkshire, and 100% brokerage other than I get 100%. Here's the third reason you talk to an agent that already sells real estate. Because most of the agents you bring are not going to recruit. So you might as well get paid off them for bringing them. And if they're already selling, they're already selling. Here's another reason to talk to agents that have been selling for a while. They have a reputation, good and bad. But if they're going to recruit people, that reputation helps. All of these reasons, Laura, all of these reasons should inspire you to talk to people not like you. That doesn't mean you can't talk to a whole bunch of new agents, but new agents become dead agents, especially in this market. So you're going to say, well, I don't have any credibility. I didn't say you needed credibility. All you need is to know what to say to the right person. And so for everybody, drum roll, here's what to say. Hey, Laura, Eric Golden with EXP. How are you today? If they are friendly, you talk to them. If they're quick, you go right to the point. Hey, Laura, sounds like you're busy. Let me tell you why I'm calling. As you probably know, EXP is exploding everywhere. I'm not asking you to change brokerages. But I want to make sure that you've actually seen our 2022 presentation and how we're compensating realtors. More importantly, I want you to know why 500 to 1,000 agents are coming to this company every week, whether you come or not. Can we just get you in front of the information just to see if anything's interesting? Do you have time sometime this week, early in the day or late in the afternoon? That's it. Golden nugget, people, here you go. Do the things that don't take talent. Get to talent later. Regurgitating a phrase is no different than greeting people at an open house or doing a listing presentation, except it's easier. Here's why it's easier, because it takes 2 seconds and they're either interested or they're not. And Laura, you ready? If they're interested, you talk to them further. If they're not, you hang up. Ah! Oh, but how do I get them to be interested? You don't. You find the one who is. Now, if you want to get them interested, then do enough of these calls to go to the level 2 presentation, which is Thursday at the exact same time, where I really take the gloves off and I hit you back. But I'll teach you how to talk to people who don't want to talk to you. And most of the time I'll spend telling you, quit talking to those people. But there are ways to handle certain objections. We handle some of those here, a lot of those on Thursday, but there's no value in you coming Thursday if you're not making calls daily or regularly. So I'm going to pause for a minute. Monica Perkins wrote, how do you initially approach a small brokerage broker? I know her personally. Great. So Monica, if you're visuals, I think you've left. Anybody see Monica? Oh, you're there. Hi, Monica.
He's there.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. So if you know her, how well do you know her?
Since we were 15, and I'm pretty old.
No. And see, there you go again. You went to the negative side.
No, that was a joke. No, but
But no, but you still went to the negative side. See,
oh, did I? Okay.
yeah. Well, 15 years. I've known her for a number of years. We've enjoyed life together. See, another way to look at it. Right? Perfect.
We had.
Are you at her? Were you at her brokerage originally?
No, she's in Indiana.
Okay, perfect. So you pick up the phone, you call and say, hey, what's her first name?
Amy.
Hey, Amy, how's it going? Good. And by the way, how long have you, Monica, been over here at EXP?
Me?
Yep.
2.5 years.
Oh, good. Hey, I don't know if you know this or not, but EXP over the last year has partnered with over 450 brokerages, small and medium sized like yours. Has anyone ever shown you the broker partnership model? I don't care if you join us. I just want you to know there's a partnership situation that might be, I don't know, I'm not a broker, but the guy I work with talks to brokerages all the time without any pressure. Would you be at all open just to see the kind of relationship that could be built? That's it. Now you're writing it down. Realize this, you don't have to write it down. You can go back to the recording in Workplace, go to the 30-minute mark, and it'll be right there.
Okay.
But again, it sounds like this. Hey, you know what? You're a small, medium-sized broker. That's exciting. I don't know this or not, but I just found out EXP partnered with over 450 brokers over the last year in lots of different. You should talk to the guy I'm working with. He specializes in talking to brokers. And the coolest thing is he's super nice, or she's super nice, and there's no pressure. They just let you know why these other brokerages have partnered. You should take a look, no matter what, whether you're interested or not in joining it. You should absolutely take a look. Would you be open to even talking? Now, does that sound like something you could say?
Yes.
Is there anything I said that you feel uncomfortable saying?
No.
So here it goes. Here's the training point for the day. If you don't say it, the normal reason you wouldn't say it is one of 4. I'm too busy and I don't get around to it. I can't really learn exactly the thing. I'm sort of afraid what she's going to ask me back. And all of those come down to one thing. You don't want it bad enough. The reason you won't make the call is you don't want it bad enough. By the way, I'm not challenging you. I'm just sciencing you. We all live in, as a kid, Monica, as a kid, you have any brothers and sisters?
I do have a brother.
Older, younger?
He's 2 years younger.
Any time in your lives did he to you or you to him say, you're not the boss of me? You're not the boss of me.
Probably.
Okay.
I know my daughters have done that to each other.
So Monica, question, who's the boss of you?
I am.
So if you want to make the call, if you want to learn the script, if you want to get free, if you want to get her entire brokerage under your rev share group, it's as simple as making a call. Isn't it as simple as doing that?
It is.
So why wouldn't we do it? Because we're afraid we won't learn a script. But it really comes down to, she sits in between what you want and what you have. And the problem with most people is you'll sit there and look at what you have and go, it really isn't that bad. And here's the truth, it isn't. That's why we don't move.
Mm-hmm.
That's why people in other countries, I just on a cruise, I talked to Admir, Admir. He is a food service person. He was our waiter for half the trip. He has 3 beautiful daughters. They're 12, 10, and 4 in the country that he's from. And he's on 7 months on the cruise, 1 week off, 7 months on the cruise, 1 week off. He's been doing that for 5 years, seeing his daughters every 7 months for a month because he has to make enough money to send it back to his family.
Mm-hmm.
So his family's growing up without him while he's just serving food virtually 20 hours a day. So when we say we can't learn a script and make a call to a friend that's been a friend for 15 years, we have a problem. And that problem is what we have is too convenient. It's too comfortable. We've got to make a decision that some things that we want are worth getting. And I'm now going to use your phrase, we're not getting any younger.
Right.
I went on a 9-day cruise, 8-day, 9-day cruise. And if you're going to go on an 8 or 9-day cruise, why wait 5 years to go? You can go on it next year, but you got to make the call this year. So reminding everybody, Monica, thanks for playing the game.
Thank you.
You'll get a consolation prize on the way home. No, I mean, did that help you, by the way? Did it help?
It does help. And I think with her, it's because of the relationship. I have the fear of talking to her about it. I've talked to her about EXP a little,
Yeah.
and she does have a very strong personality. Probably why she's successful in her business.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes it's easier to reach out to strangers,
Well,
and not maybe strangers, but acquaintances, not somebody you have had a relationship with for so long.
and my answer is, it is easier,
Mm-hmm.
but that doesn't mean you're not able,
Right.
and you are the boss of you. She's not the boss of you. Your kids aren't the boss of you. And let's make it clear, I'm not the boss of you. But she's either going to say, yes, I'm interested, or no, I'm not. I would recommend, given your situation, you talk to your upline leader, whether it be Kathy or Jeff or Tim or Sean or myself, and you just say, are you available for me to be able to connect to? Yeah, because we'll help you with that. But I want you to understand something. There are days, Tim, jump on microphone real quick.
And Tim's my upline.
Okay, so Tim, let me ask a question. As a Remax high-level broker with a very successful brokerage, be honest with me. How many times a week or a month when you were in that role were you thinking, gosh, if I could get out of this role, that'd be awesome?
Never.
Okay, so you always wanted to be the broker.
Yeah.
Did you always want the responsibility?
Didn't want the liability.
Perfect. So how often during the week or month did you think about, God, it'd be nice if I could do this without the liability?
Daily.
Okay. And Monica, she may be thinking about that too.
That's where I think she may be. I think she's a type, like I said, she's a strong person. I think she likes the control of her business. But there's been a couple of issues, and I think the liability is what is weighing on her.
You then lead in with, again, Tim can counsel you on this, but lead in with, hey, I just found out that one of the guys I work with here talks to brokers all the time. And we had like 450, 500 brokers join us last year. And a lot of them did it because they wanted to somehow get rid of their liability, but still run their group. Have you seen how EXP does that? She'll go, no. Now, or she'll go, I don't want to go to EXP. So I don't want you to go to EXP either. But you probably should talk to man, just to find out. But again, talk to Tim on that. But I want you to understand this. She's either open to talking or she's not. And this is where most people come to this class thinking, I'm going to convince someone to look or convince someone to come. You're not. You're going to ask them if they're open, but you're going to learn how to ask them in a way that if they're open, they're going to say yes. Tim, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, there's a couple things you could do. Hey, Amy, Monica, gosh, we've been friends how long? Since we were 15, right? Listen, I just realized I've done you a horrible, horrible, horrible disservice. She's gonna say, oh, really? What's that? I've never sat you down and shown you the EXP presentation, not to get you to move, but I'm pretty sure your agents are seeing it because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of recruiting going on, and I'd like for you to see it. So worst case, you'll know what your competition is. Best case, you might find out why 450 broker owners like you partnered with EXP in the last 12 months. And I didn't want to have another day go by without reaching out to you and asking you to take a look at it, because I realize it could be a perfect fit, and it might not be, but it could answer all the problems that you and I've discussed for years about owning your own brokerage. In fact, my buddy Tim used to own a Remax. He got out of it because he didn't like the liability, and he saw not only better opportunities for himself, but for all of his agents. And he moved his entire team to EXP 4.5 years ago. And it's changed his life forever financially. That's the kind of conversation I would have. And I gave you a couple tidbits in there. You can mention a couple of things. You can mention all of them. You can mention none of them, but Eric's spot on.
No,
She's
I like
open,
that
she's
too.
going to look.
Yeah.
And
But you can play on the, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, I feel guilty. And it kind of parlays to another question that somebody else asked. Michelle sat down with a fellow agent a while back, mentioned wasn't looking to change because he was winding down, didn't think about retirement. How do I go back to him now without sounding salesy? Michelle, it's like this. Whatever his name is, dude, I realized when you and I talked a few months ago, I didn't even consider two things. One is new at EXP, and one is your retirement. My buddy Tim Hollenden was a so-and-so, and he came to EXP for retirement. That's exactly where you are, or that's where you told me you are. But there's another thing. Just last week, EXP announced a referral division. You could park your license at EXP for the rest of your life, get referral fees on all the deals you will still refer to other people in or out of EXP, and build a retirement plan at the same time. I'd love to just show you those things. When do you have time? Tuesday afternoon, or would Thursday morning be better? Just to look. Never hurts to learn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me
That's
just show
awesome.
you what we've got. And so that's how you can re-engage in either scenario. Your friend, Monica, or the person you called on that you neglected to talk to about retirement, Michelle.
Thank you very much. I'm assuming I can find that information about the retirement on the referral network on Workplace. Is that where I can find it?
Yep. It's all over the place. One of the things they announced at EXPCon.
Okay. Hated that I missed that this year.
Yeah,
Thank
me
you.
too. First one I've ever
Me
missed.
too.
It drove me crazy.
anybody else have a live question? We got about 15 minutes left. I have content to go, but I'd love to handle a question someone might have about anything we've covered or something else.
And Kim just posted in Workplace a work paper I did on all the reasons why a broker would want to partner with EXP. It's about 1.5 years old. I did update it with agent count and so forth recently. It may not be updated for the 85,000, but take a look at that if you want just a hit list of why a broker might consider partnering with us. Now, this is not one you want to share with the broker, by the way. These are just for your knowledge, talking points to get them to a presentation.
Go ahead, Julia Jade McDaniel.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. So I'm super excited about this class. Everything that you said today was me. You heard me say it was me. Okay, so here's where I am. So I'm also a licensed real estate instructor. So I have access to all of the agents in the state of Georgia. Like I have all their names, address, email address, and all those things. What would you suggest I do to start breaking that up so I could start having conversations with some of these agents?
Let me start by saying this. I am not an attorney. I don't know the contract that you have with the state being a licensed trainer. I don't know what you can do legally with the list or access. Let's start with that. Okay. Now, with that said, all the information you have on that list is public somewhere. So, but I want to be real clear. I'm not telling you, especially because we're recorded, to use that list and go make phone calls. Everybody got that, right? If you have names and numbers, you can start the same way I start. Hey, Jim, Eric with EXP. Hey, Sonia, Eric with EXP. They're not going to ask where you got the name, or I'm not saying you should get it from the list. Now, if you have access to continuing education versus just new license, I would like people to talk to people that are continuing education versus new license for all the things we referenced before. And I think the more you reference the fact that they're going through any kind of education brings them to a different direction than you're interested in. What you're interested in is finding out, are they open to take a look at a company that's bringing 500 to 1,000 agents a week? Okay, so there's lots of ways to get names and numbers. You just happen to know them from one list. And again, if it's broken down. So it doesn't change a whole lot where you find the information, whether you find it from your LinkedIn, Facebook, whether you find it from your MLS list, whether you find it from anywhere. Okay, I don't know if I've directly answered your question, but I know I've answered it legally.
You did.
Did I answer? Okay.
Thank
Any
you.
follow-up question, or are you good?
I am good because I was here last week, so I know to go to some of the other sites to see who's top producing. I just wanted to figure out a way to break the list down because it's a huge list.
Yep. No problem. And one quick way for everybody, just for fun, everybody, I'll show you a simple thing. It's easier than you think. Screen one, share, go right up here. If I wanted to look at an agent, I wanted to look at John Kennedy real estate. It's going to pull up all the John Kennedys in real estate. If I happen to know that he's in West Palm Beach, it's a Zillow. I pull up Zillow, look what I can look at right here. All the solds are right there. We can look back and see how many they've got. So the idea again is you can do amazing things just by using search and find Zillows or realtors, realtor.com. If I think John Kennedy here, he'll show me the same information. This John Kennedy, 15 listings. They'll show me what they've sold over what time frame, right? So it's all right there. Again, lot to learn? No, it's the next step, whatever's the next step. Julia, you can put your hand down if we've answered your question. Laura, do you have one?
Just a question, sorry, because I'm brand new. If I have somebody willing to be interesting to join EXP, I had to add him, add the person in a group on the presentation to come.
Well, there's a lot of ways to get. First thing, you have to get them to say, "I'll look at a presentation," and
Okay.
then you got to work with someone like me to find out how do I do that. Okay.
Got it.
There's recorded presentations that you could jump on a Zoom with them with a recording and hit play. And believe it or not, you're watching it while they're watching it. As soon as it's over, someone like me can jump on and answer their questions. That's one way. A second way is you can coordinate on, for example, my calendar to do a live presentation for you at a certain time with somebody. It's the second way. A third way, on Wednesdays, for one more week, not sure we're carrying in November, but for one more week, this week, Wednesday of this week at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 and 7 Eastern, which is 1 and 4 Pacific. On Wednesday, we're doing a live presentation on this channel at 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock Pacific on Wednesday. So that's another way to do it. But Laura, again, once you're ready to really start doing this, get with whoever's going to support you. And in your case, it's me. Surprise, me and Remo. Okay? So we'll help you do that.
And I can find any of your contact information in the workplace, right?
Well, you can. If you go to workplace chat and just chat me, then I'll send you my number right back.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Anybody else have another question before I begin to close? Did I miss anybody's tickle spot? Michael Higdon, did you come here looking for something? Decker, did you come here? Tony, Ron, any of you come here looking for something specific that I didn't hit today? All
Nope,
good?
you covered everything. Thank you.
Good deal. So let me cover something I haven't covered, or let me cover it differently. I said earlier that the work is actually not doing the work, it's figuring out what you want. If you figured out what you want, I want 3,000, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 a month. I want it residually so I can live this kind of lifestyle. So I can not worry about all the sales. I'm not worried about the sales all the time. I can go on vacation, put my kids through school, have a second home, whatever the reasons you have. And you're struggling with the work itself. You're doing it, but struggling. Here's the step. You have to improve it. Life is a series of decisions, but the problem is every time you make a decision, it takes energy. So I want you to make one decision and then just keep confirming it. Here's that decision. I will do whatever the next step is as fast as I can learn it. I will do whatever the next step is as fast as I can learn it. You can't do two steps at the same time. You can't make a list and learn the script at the same time. You can do it same day, can't do it same time. Success is three things. Where am I? Where do I want to go? One step in that direction. Where am I? Where do I want to go? One step in that direction. There's only four things we do. We make a list, we invite, we show, and we answer. Where are you in that? And by the way, if you've ignored what I've said 9 times, you're looking for the person that's looking for you. They'll let you take them through the steps the way you do it. The only reason you're missing some people is you haven't improved doing it better. When you improve doing it better, you'll get more people that'll let you take them through it. It's the way it's supposed to be. If you have a great reputation in real estate, more people should listen to you. If you have no reputation in real estate, they shouldn't listen to you. Unless you say something that makes them want to listen to you. So as a new agent, you say you're part of a big group. As a new agent trying to get business, you say, I work directly with my broker. So we're going to have incredible attention to your account. In your case, Laura, you work incredibly with one of the leading agents in Los Angeles for 2 decades. Remo's that good.
I know.
Don't tell him I said that. Do not tell him I said that. Okay?
Yeah.
But you all can say things to make you look bigger, not better. You have to buy into really who you are and what you can offer. And here's what I can offer everybody that I'll help them. Whatever they need, I'll figure it out. Even if I don't know how to figure it out, I will know how to go to someone who can figure it out. There isn't a person you can't help if you ask them clearly, what do they need? Let me ask you this question. If you go to a homeowner and you say, tell me the reason you're selling your home. Tell me why you need this much money and can we get it? If you go to a buyer and you say, tell me what you're looking for, where do you want it to be? How big, how many bedrooms, how many baths, how close to the school? If you ask those questions, you firmly believe if they're reasonable in today's market, you can either sell or buy a home. Is that true? If they're reasonable. Yes, everybody agree? So why can't I help you do the same thing if you're reasonable? And here's reasonable. Everybody, 1 second, share screen, boom, share. Remind everybody what reasonable is. Laura, what's your average price point in the houses in your area?
We'll say 600,000.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to make this easier for the masses, because the masses may only be at 300,000. Okay. So bear with me. Let's assume someone at 300,000 and they sell 6 properties a year. In your case, you may only sell 3. Okay. It's $1.8 million. That's only, that's like half a cap. And let's assume it's a 2.5%. Okay. So Laura, in your case, that would be a 3 up here and a 600,000 here. Okay. But for everybody else, it's 1.8 million in real estate. And let's say you sponsor 1 agent every quarter. So at the end of the year, you've got 4 agents. And you get paid a whopping $6,000 and you're not excited. But let's do that for 3 years. Now you have 12. And they're only a third as good as you, and they only have 4. And they're only a quarter as good as them. They only have 1. So you have 12 agents. They brought you 48 agents, and they brought 48 agents. 3 years from now, these people are not selling 3 million, they're selling at $1.5 million. And you're making an extra 160,000 even. Wow. Let me repeat that.
Just recruiting.
Just bringing agents who want to come to EXP. They just don't know they want to come.
Wow. Okay.
Now, if you sell 6 homes at 600,000, since the math is perfect, now it's you're over your cap. You're over that. Let's go down to 5. Now you're making 265,000. I want you to hear this, people. 12 people. They'll each find 4 on an average, and they will each find 1 on an average. This is a real model for people that go to get 12. The problem is you're focused on getting 1 and worried about it. I want everybody to look at the screen, unless you're driving. This program is too flipping good. If you get it in front of enough people, no matter who you are, you're going to sponsor agents. The better you are, the fewer agents you'll have to talk to. The worse you are, the more agents you have to talk to. But don't misunderstand something. It isn't about you, and it's not even about the agent. It's about the model. And until someone comes along with a better, listen to the word, a better proven model, we still have the best game in town. And I'll let you know when someone has a better proven model. You know how? I'll let you know. I won't be here. We will have a better proven model for the next 3 to 5 years. There may be a company in existence today that proves their model out and it's better, but it'll take them the next 3 to 5 years to prove it. And while everybody else is trying to figure out what the next Bitcoin is, I'm staying in this one. What we don't know is 3 to 5 years from now. What we do know is if we build a big enough group, even if a better model comes along, most people don't want to move, so they'll stay here. Not saying a better one's coming. I don't even know of a better one coming. But I want you to know that you have 3 to 5 years to set up the rest of your life. But it won't take you that long. Here's what it'll take you. 2 minutes left. Today, improve your skill recruiting agents. Get better at making a list. Get better at inviting people. Get better at showing people, and get better at answering questions. But you can only work on one of those at a time. What are you going to do today to be better before you go to sleep tonight, so tomorrow you don't look at the same face? Because if you look at the same face tomorrow and the day after and the day after, you'll keep coming back to Mondays thinking that what I'm telling you doesn't work. And the answer is, the only reason it doesn't work is because you won't. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you.
God, it was amazing.
Laura.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.